Welcome to Veggies and Herbs. My name is Ruben Malale and I'm excited to be back with the April edition of what I'm planting and what I'm growing. So in today's video, I will be sharing the 12 crops that I am planting in April. But before we do that, let's quickly give an update on the sowing and the planting that we did in March. So last month we started some brassicas and some beetroot. Most of the seed actually germinated, with the exception of the onions and some lettuce. The stuff that I sown directly, the carrots, also germinated nicely. I see my garlic plants are coming through, and also the spinach. I'm quite impressed with the way the spinach has grown over this month. As you can see, it is quite nice that you can actually use it just after 1 month of sowing. So this is truly a quick growing crop, and you can actually at this point consume the spinach leaves. But that was the planting that I started last month. So I prefer to start most of my seed indoors because it just gives me that extra security that things will germinate due to the fact that it is done in a controlled environment. But if you do not have sufficient space, there's always a way actually to sow the seed directly. We will talk more about some tips for if you do not have sufficient space and you want to sow your seed directly. I will be sowing some seed directly into the garden. But let's first start off with the seeds that I'm starting off indoors for this month. So it's just important to mention that it's important to grow the items that you and your family consume. So some of the things that I'm planting are the stuff that we are using, that we are consuming definitely in our household. But for me, the brassicas are actually the foundation of my winter vegetable garden. So most of the crops that I am going to plant during this for my winter vegetable garden will mainly consist out of brassicas. Brassicas are the foundation of my winter vegetable garden. So this month I'm just trying out some more varieties. I got some seed from Legacy Seeds. So my plan is to sow different variety of cabbages this month. So I'm trying out this variety that I got from Legacy Seeds. I will put the link of Legacy Seeds in the description of this video, where if you want to also try out their seed, where you can see their catalog and what they have to offer. I'm also thinking of adding some different varieties of cabbages, that like baby cabbage, just to make sure that I increase the varieties within my garden. Now, in addition to cabbage, I'm also trying out some purple broccoli and also some purple cauliflower. Last month I've tried out a different variety, so I just want to add some color and some difference in the garden. When it comes to beetroot, I've also tried this variety from Legacy Seeds that I'm starting off indoors, and I am planning to sow this other mixed variety directly into my garden. So beetroot is definitely also one of the items that will definitely be part of my growing list. In addition to the other brassicas, I'm trying out this variety, the kale. It produces quite big leaves. I planted it once and it's very productive. So I will just plant 2 seeds of these plants because kale is a nice cut and come again crop. I have already 2 varieties already in my garden, so I just want to add this variety also, just to add some different variety into the garden. I have some green peas that I also got from Legacy Seeds. So my plan is this month to grow some pea shoots. So obviously peas can be grown for their peas, but you can also grow pea shoots. So the way it works is you just fill up the tray with some potting mix, then sow it in the tray and cover it. Grow on the window, and after the shoots are ready, you can then use them either in salads or in your meals. So peas, instead of just growing peas for the pots, you can actually grow peas also for their shoots. Bush beans are also one of my favorite quick growing crops. So I'm starting my bush beans normally off in newspaper pots. If you want to know how to make newspaper pots, I will put the link of the video in the description, or I put a card up there for you to see. But I liked the purple as well as the yellow variety, so I've tried it earlier this season, and I just want to sow another batch of bush beans. Now, if you do not have sufficient space, you can always sow your seed directly into the garden. The benefits of sowing directly is that you do not have to worry about space. You don't have to worry about making sure that you check after the seedlings indoors. You can just sow it directly into the garden. However, for me, the risk with direct sowing is that temperatures can fluctuate, which can actually affect the germination rate of the seed. But I just want to encourage those gardeners that might not have space to germinate or propagate their seed indoors, that you can sow your seed directly into your garden. So one of the things that is best for direct seeding is definitely root crops like carrots. So the best thing that you can do is to prepare the soil, ensure that the weeds are removed, to avoid the situation that the weeds actually overtake your seed. So I'll just make a trench with the rake in my garden, and then I will lightly sow some of the carrots into my garden. Then I will cover it and just water it in. Now it's important to keep your carrots moist to avoid the situation where your carrots will eventually dry out. So it's important to make sure that you just keep it moist. Now I also want to sow some of my beetroot directly into the soil. So the same principle will apply. I will just make a trench and then sow some of this beetroot directly into the soil. This is just also to demonstrate to gardeners that you don't have to start your seed indoors if you do not have space. So I am fortunate to have a windowsill that I can use but you can sow your seed directly into the garden, and just ensure that you keep the area moist until your seed has germinated. Some of the things that I'm also sowing directly will definitely be some green peas. So I'm planning to plant different varieties. So when it comes to sowing peas, I will just space it approximately 5 to 7 centimeters apart. Then I will cover it and just ensure that I keep the area moist. Now peas are climbers, so I used to plant my butternut next to these trellis. So I will just use this to make sure that I plant my peas so that it can grow up the trellis. I managed to get this seed potatoes, and I might be a little late. It might be risky to plant them now, but I decided to plant them in these growing bags, which if temperatures are becoming too crazy, can actually move the pot indoors. So I will just level it, fill the bag with some potting mix. I will just place some of my potato seeds and then cover it. As the seed potatoes grow, we will just fill it up with more soil. But these are some of the potatoes. And the last crop that I'm also planting this month, which I feel like is the last window that I have, garlic. I managed to get this from a store, so I will just continue to plant this garlic. I will put a link of a video where I discuss how to grow your garlic. So there you have it. I had beautiful harvest last week. I'm hoping to publish that video soon. If you want to know some planting strategies for your winter vegetable garden, check out this video. Thank you for watching. Keep on sowing and growing. Cheers.